He has been the lead on antimicrobial resistance, the technical officer at the World Health Organization, Ethiopia. Over to you, Dr. Khan.
Good morning to everyone. Wonderful Friday morning, and the stated purpose is to make sure that we will make this event a success. Looking forward to make it a success with the collaboration of all of you. So let's move ahead and let's start inviting our speakers. I would like to introduce. I would like to request the honorary guests for the sessions that include Dr. Obaidullah, CURAP, is already here. Professor Moosavi-Movahedi, can you please join us on stage? Thank you, sir. Dr. Obaidullah is the CEO of Biotech of Pakistan. He's a healthcare professional pursuing a PhD in pharmaceutical sciences and MBA. He has about 25 years of personal experience and is associated with regulation of therapeutics since 2001. Currently, as a DRAP CEO, he's leading many work, including DRAP, ISO 9001 certification. He's presenting DRAP at different forums and committed to improve the Pakistan's level of the maturity qualification to level 3. He's involved in harmonization activities of therapeutic good regulations at various international regulation forums like regulatory system strengthening, WHO, CGP, NRA. He's a member of drafting group on writing the WHO guidelines, and he's also a member of DRAP on the local production of pharmaceuticals and vaccine. In addition, he also has been an advisor with WHO in different country offices. So over to Dr. Obaidullah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Very good morning. In fact, it's a great pleasure to be here in the ECOSF 2025 with the theme of the conference is Science, Technology and Innovation. As my domain of work is the health system and regulatory strengthening in specific, so I will focus my presentation on how ECO region, rather strengthening the regulatory framework for regional health security in ECO region. If we see that the health security has become very important after COVID time, because previously it was thought that security is only one thing, that is water security. Then there was another term which was about food security. But the term health security was coined in COVID era. Although COVID has very bad experiences almost with everyone, but countries like Pakistan and ECO region countries, this COVID has some light of hope, ray, innovation as well. Specifically when we talk about the health system, when we talk about the innovation, specifically related to microbiome, when we talk about the vaccine, when we talk about the electromedical devices. So by focus on that how ECO countries can So I will try to cover aspects which are directly related with the regulatory system strengthening and how ECO countries can collaborate with each other, and I will give a few examples that how world has moved in the field of regulatory system strengthening. So I will start my presentation. So I will start my presentation with UN Sustainable Development Goals. Previously, these were called Millennium Development Goals, but now these are called SDGs. By and large, there are 17 SDGs, and if we see that these SDGs cover almost all components of our life, starting from no poverty up to partnership for the goals, but these cover the lifestyle of every person. And these signatory, at least Pakistani signatory, and I believe that every member of the ECO region is also signatory to these SDGs as well. So being signatory, every government is responsible for the provision of all these things to their people. So now if we specifically talk about the component of health, so it is called good health and well-being. Now it is good health and well-being. When it was initially prepared, it was good health, but subsequently it was decided to include well-being as well. Because health doesn't mean only prevention of disease. Health means that hum behtar bhi hone chahiye. We should be good, irrespective of the prevention of the disease. We should feel good as well. So good health and well-being. And we were specifically talking about the component where the role of national regulatory authority comes with. In every country of the world, there are about 204 countries, and by and large, in 190 countries of the world, national medicine regulatory authority of the country exists. So every government is responsible for the access to safe, effective, quality, and affordable essential medicine and vaccine for all. So by and large, it is the responsibility of the government, and every government is trying to do all these things. But the question is whether every government has sufficient resources to cover all these things. So by and large, my answer will be no. So here comes the concept of reliance, here comes the concept of the coordination, and here comes the concept of communication and regional decision making as well. So in next slide, if we see that I have tried to cover that every regulatory authority of the world or every government is responsible for the provisions of these commodities to their people. Pharmaceuticals, biological, alternate medicine, medical devices, because these are the commodities which are essentially required in any healthcare system, starting from the primary healthcare up to the tertiary healthcare. So these are the integral component where we need to provide all these things to our people and patients as well. And in order to have all these things, these are the regulatory functions which every government performs. So we can see that we do licensing, registration, lottery, so and so. So now, whether every government is it's possible every government to perform all these functions? So definitely answer is no. By and large, there are some domestic functions like sales, storage, distribution, so which are essentially required and to be done by the that very government. But there are some functions which can be done as a collective work, like registration of drug, like pharmacovigilance, like lot release. So here comes the international harmonization. How we can work together, because if every government wants to have its own frame of work for the activities of the drug regulation or medicine regulation, then it will be very difficult to coordinate and collaborate. So here comes the work of international cooperation. So if we see that the world has adopted international standards when we talk about the national medicines, and these are those standards. If we cover all these, or if we adopt these standards, then we can move for the purpose of international coordination. By and large, if we see that all these are the components which are being qualified and assessed. So I will just start because I have been told by Tariq only 5 minutes or 10 minutes, so that's why I will quickly see that these are the standards, and all those regional authorities who are working in coordination for the medicine regulation, they have adopted all these standards. So I believe that all the ECO region, at least Pakistan has adopted, I know Iran has adopted, and some other countries, but still there is a much gap for the ECO member countries to have the international standards for all these things. So my suggestion to the Secretariat of the ECO is that if we want to have the regional collaboration for the drugs and medicines, then we need to have very stringent and collaborative work, provided that we need to adopt all these things. At the same time, WHO, although I believe that we all are the member of WHO, all countries, so for this purpose, WHO has adopted global benchmarking tool. So it is the tool on the basis of which every regulatory authority is to be assessed by the World Health Organization. And it has 9 components. We can see national regulatory system, registration, vigilance. These are by and large those components which I have shared in second or third slide, that every country needs to work on that. So what the governments and what the regions are doing to adopt all these things. If we see regional regulatory networks, so by and large we can see that there are, first I will go to this slide, reliance slide. What is the reliance? It's not possible for every country, even US FDA with all its might and advanced regulatory system, it's not possible for the US FDA even to have the assessment and registration and pharmacovigilance of all those drugs to be used in America. So here comes the concept of reliance, that they rely on the decisions of some other regulatory authorities, including Europe, including Canada, including Australia. So these are those regulatory authorities which are being considered as the reference regulatory authorities. Previously, these were called stringent regulatory authorities because their actions proved that they are the leaders in the drug innovations, in the compliance, in the registration and marketing as well. So if we want to have collaboration in ECO region for all these things, then we need to set the standards first. And for this standardization, we need to have reliance. And all these countries which have been mentioned here, these are the reliant countries, and for the purpose of the ECO further coordination, we need to rely on these regulatory authorities, then we can move further for all these things. So now, how the world is working for the reliance. By and large, reliance and regional cooperation and regional coordination is by and large, it is based on the component of the countries which are in close proximity with each other. Largest of the reliance is with the Europe. Europe work with the European Medicine Agency. European Medicine Agency, it is the prime agency across the globe who have started the concept of the collaboration and coordination in terms of the medicine regulation. So any product which have been approved by the European Medicine Agency, if any clinical trial which has been approved by the European Medicine Agency, all member states of the Europe, they are supposed to follow all these regulations. So it's called European Medicine Agency. Then comes the concept, the largest one is the Asia. In Asia, there are various groups which are working. GCC, Gulf Coordination Council, has its own council for the regulation of medicine. Same principles which I have shared with you about the reference regulatory authority they are doing. They are the same clinical trial they are accepting. Another working group is the ASEAN, Association for the Southeast Asian Network countries, and they are also following the same. Again, it's not the question of independent legislation. It is the question and it is the discussion of the reliance and let's move further concept. So for that purpose, they have not only harmonized their legislation, which I have shown in the third slide of the international harmonization, that rather they have amended their legislation as well for the purpose of all these things. So ASEAN countries, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, they are the member of the ASEAN network as well. Now, another one is which is for me, which I truly speaking, I'm really impressed the work which Africa has started. Africa is definitely about 32 countries. Now they are following the steps of the Europe. They have African Union. They have developed African Union for all the work of the Africa. And in African Union, the purpose of the medicine regulation is the African Medicine Agency. They called it EMA because they understand this, that in all the countries of Africa, they don't have resources for all the assessments, because the regulation of medicine is not a simple thing, it's pure scientific and innovative work. So they have pooled their resources, they have established their EMA, African Medicine Agency, and now they are working for the improvement of each and every member country. Although they are altogether different from the Europe, almost every country of the Europe is to, at least they are working at some benchmarking or minimum level, but it's not the case with Africa. But they have collaborated and coordinated, and now they are working with the EMA and all these things. Similarly, South American countries are also working for the purpose of their coordination, for the purpose of reliance, for the purpose of harmonized working. So here comes the now the special point for the ECO region. If ECO region and ECO secretariat wants to have some coordinated efforts in terms of for their activities related to the assessment and registration and regulation of medicine, then we can move further. And definitely we can't move in all the regulatory fields, but at least we can start work from the clinical trial, we can start from the registration of medicines, because when the international companies like GSK, Novartis, Roche, they prefer to have some single standardized document to be submitted in various countries. So here comes, if we want to move, then we can adopt these standards, we can rely on each other, and we can move further. So it was all my presentation about reliance and my coordination and how we can move further. And these are the basically these are the, if you can say, how we can move. FIP is basically Federation of International Pharmaceutical Organization, and FIP has developed 21 goals for every country to be adopted if we want to excel in medicine regulation. So basically, it is the document on the basis of which we can move further, and every member country should adopt this. And it is my last slide that might be some of the member countries of ECO can move very much further if they move alone. But if we want to go far, if you want to go fast, then go alone. But if the region wants to go far, then let's go together and work together and collaborate together. So thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you very much, Prof. A really amazing presentation and essential food and medicine. So definitely it gives us a very good learning lesson of how to move forward and how to establish a very strong collaboration in terms of pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, and medicine supply chain. Now, I would like to introduce Professor Dr. Ali Moosavi, our guest from Iran. He's a professor of biophysics, head of Institute of Biochemistry and Biophysics, University of Tehran. He's also leading the Institute of Biochemistry and Biophysics. He was born in Shiraz, Iran in 1953, earned his BSc in chemistry from National University of Iran in 1975, MSc in chemistry from Eastern Michigan University, USA in 1979, then a PhD from University of Manchester in 1986. His research career has been mostly remarked on biothermodynamics and protein function relationship. He is already the fellow of Iran Academy of Science, fellow of Islamic World Academy of Science, fellow of World Academy of Science, and the chairholder of UNESCO Chair on International Research on Diabetes located in University of Tehran. He was a recipient of the Comstech Award for Lifetime Achievement in Chemistry in 2021. He is currently the president of Iran Society of Biophysical Chemistry and one of the influential founding members of several scientific societies and research institutes in Iran. We would like to learn from him, using his expertise, how the eco-member countries can work more together in his area of expertise. Over to you, sir.
There's I have to express my best thanks to the organization of this prestigious conference. My talk is about exploring new frontiers in regional health and biotechnology. I believe each conference should have at least one outcome for decision. I give you a short talk and give you one suggestion for implementation. Science and innovation as complementary forces play a vital role in improving public health and advancing biotechnology. Strengthening regional collaboration connects local capacities with global knowledge. We need global knowledge for our local capacity. In this context, scientific diplomacy acts as a bridge for exchanging experiences, enabling technology transfer, and fostering scientific synergy among regional countries. Today, with the emergence of complex diseases, social and biological stresses, and environmental crises, the demand for collective solutions is greater than ever. Advanced biotechnology combined with artificial intelligence and quantum technologies offers powerful tools for data analysis, drug discovery, vaccine development, and the optimization of biological processes. These technologies are transforming how we understand, prevent, and treat diseases, significantly improving quality of life. By expanding the frontiers of science, we can move beyond what is visible and explore deeper truths through precise scientific inquiry. Scientists empowered by deep knowledge, resilience, and wisdom are capable of offering essential solutions to the challenges that we face. The ECO region, with its cultural harmony, human resources, and scientific capacity, holds a strong potential to become a model of collaborative innovation. Realizing this vision requires removing bureaucratic barriers, encouraging joint investment, and establishing transparent platforms for cooperation and exchange. Simplifying process, building trust, and using regional institutions can enable scientific integration and innovation, which fostering a path toward health, welfare, and sustainable development. Today, at this conference, let us commit to the goal of building and developing our countries through science and innovation bringing peace and happiness to our people. Really, I have an amendment as a new frontier for Health Development Index. I add the terminology of lifestyle in attachment to technology. You know, technology is good, but not always. Biocompatible technology is good, but invasive technology is not good. We have to control the invasive technology for our society. In my definition, lifestyle, scientific lifestyle, is safe control of the technological diseases and technological stresses. Lifestyle today is interdisciplinary science plus interdisciplinary knowledge plus wisdom just for the individual and for societies. Therefore, I suggest, if possible, for this conference, just create or constitute a secretariat for advancement of scientific lifestyle, attachment to the ECO Science Foundation. This is very important. We should control the bad technology. In the end, I think in this era, we need to say science and wisdom innovation system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor, for a really wonderful insight. Now, our next speaker is an amazing inspirational story for a lot of people. Those who are microbiologists, especially those who are female. I would like to introduce this Dr. Maryam Ebrahimi. She's a CEO and a managing director of the Takgene Zist group. She's a distinguished microbiologist and entrepreneur, a policy advisor with over 2 decades of experience in applied microbiology and biotechnology. She was a PhD in microbiology and a master's in pharmaceutical management, also served as a faculty member in Islamic Azhar University, a founder and a managing editor of Journal of Applied Microbiology in Food Industry. She's a trailblazer in Iran probiotic and functional food sector. She founded multiple science-based enterprises, including the Gene Zist Group, Zist Mashhur Persian Accelerator, the SU specializing in dairy starter culture. She sits on the board of representatives of the Tehran Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mine, and Agriculture. She also served as a vice chair of Knowledge-Based Economy Committee at the Iran Chamber of Commerce. She has contributed to the key national policy initiatives under the Vice Presidency for Science and Technology. Honored nationally and internationally, she received 2023 Amin al-Zard Award from Iran Chamber of Commerce and the Muslim World Rani Award in Malaysia. She has registered over 14 patents, authored seminal publications, and chaired multiple national and international conferences. Recognized repeatedly as Iran's top female entrepreneur, her work continues to build science, industry, and policy for sustainable development in health and biotechnology sector. I think a lesson for all of us, especially in academia, how to bridge science, industry, policy together. So over to Dr. Maryam. Over to you.
Salam alaikum. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank organization, especially Dr. Kaibi, to make this opportunity to visit, to attend in this valuable conference, to visit this beautiful city, and to familiar with so nice people and kind people. Thank you very much for all. My speech is about a proposal. I have a proposal that we can think about it. My proposal is a good chain of support for vital and emergency medical products. As an outline, we understand that we need to make a chain, and we talk a lot about this. To fulfill this proposal, we have three key activities: coordination, information, capacity building, production, and emergency response. To fulfill this activity, we have to leverage technological efficiency and also to make structure and organization for that. So we made a roadmap, and after that we could discuss about this proposal together. To demonstrate this proposal, we need for regional health resilience. It will promote vital cooperation across political, economical, and security sectors. To fulfill this proposal, we have to gather economic, political, and also science together. Growing need for a robust framework to address public health emergency and ensure regional stability. COVID-19 pandemic highlighted how it's important to supply and chain and the need for coordinated response. Achieving health security requires short-term, more resilient supply chain for vital medicine and medical devices. Health security is one member states impact the entire network, so we are going to answer the need in emergency situation. How we could make this chain support? The core concept is establish a global network under ECOSF for mutual assistance and collaboration regarding the supply of vital and emergency medical product, medicine and device. I would like to add food to this. To be safe, we should think about food and medicine together. As a goal, enhance preparedness and rapid response of ECO member states to health crises. Important note that this initiative aims to build linkage and mechanism for mutual support, not to create a single supranational regulatory agency. It means we should make a chain together, not only one. As a potential, we can mention that strengthened regional resilience, solidarity, and cooperation in public health. So, primary objective of this proposal is enabling and sharing and supply of vital and emergency medical product across ECO member states during crisis or urgent needs. Based on Dr. Unfortunately, based on his presentation, it could be expanded to health and foods. I mean, in my presentation, I focus on something emergency, but it could be expanded to all products, on all products in human sector. Facilitate document exchanges and promote self-sufficiency, cooperate in establishing, developing infrastructure and technology transfer for producing vital medical product within ECO region to prevent shortage. So let's start how we could do, how we fulfill this project. This project has three steps, three key steps. The first one is coordination and information. To coordination and information, first of all, we should focus on a standardized protocol. We should have the same protocol. As the doctor told, that we have the same reference, but we should accept and rely to each other. Secure digital platform is another needs to become a unity. Integrated registration process, and all of them lead to regional emergency hub to answer the critical position immediately. Next step, we have to build capacity and production line. We understand that we need something, but how we could answer to this need? Again, we can start it from joint research and development. We can do it in university and research institute together. Collaborate R&D initiative focused on public health and vital medicine product to address common challenge. Second, supply chain management empowerment. And after that, manufacturing infrastructure development, we do all these things to this important part: technology transfer and capacity building. All this all ECO member have a capacity, but we should fill this capacity. This capacity is empty in each country, and we should fill our capacity to joint venture and invest together. The second step, emergency response. We join together, we understand each other, we invest together, we have capacity, and now we should answer fast. To this step, we have standard protocol, exchange experience, and rapid coordination in emergency service, rapid deployment force. Establish a force for rapid response to medical emergency that can be mobilized across member states. In this picture, I would like to share with you what Iran has in health sector. In Iran, we have a strong KBE ecosystem. I mean, we found a lot on health system, especially in biotechnology area, and significant number of active knowledge-based companies in pharma and medical tech and also food are active in Iran. It's around 1,000 companies that support health ecosystem on knowledge-based company. Advanced infrastructure, investments in preclinical, QC lab, and clinical and capability for this. Not only we advance the infrastructure, also we focus on clinical QC lab and standardize these products. We have national supports and we have focus areas, especially emphasize on human resource. These are some biggest company in Iran, knowledge-based company in Iran that work on health products, especially in biotechnology, in cell tissue, in map, in probiotics, and different area of need in health. Let's back to our proposal. To leverage technology for efficiency, we have to use different, not only scientific in a health area, also we have to use some tools like digital tools, blockchain, artificial intelligence, cross-border, and so on. So, let's look at the structure of this proposal. The structure of this proposal came from Governing Council, managed by Council of Health Minister or head of regulatory authority from each ECO member state, set strategy, priority, and supervise activity. I mean, it seemed to roadmap the strategy. And for sure, executive and secretary that manage the meeting that should be done between countries. For example, a host country could cover meeting-related expense and permits technical means, and participated country over their own travel participation costs. It could be done between countries. So what we expected from this proposal: improve regional preparedness, increase access, timely sustainable supply, and enhance cooperation solidarity. This proposal could be 3 steps. In phase 1, short term, I mean between 6 to 12 months, we could approval present concept note to ECO Health Minister for approved adoption, establish WG for form an ECO and working group on this, and magnets. In next step, phase 2, for 1 to 3 years, we could detail planning, pilot program, develop guideline, secure comments and channel. And for long term, we could have a stakeholder engagement, formalize agreement, sustainable structure, joint drill, and ongoing. At the end, as a final slide, I would like to say regulation and structure may be amended and supplemented with the written consent of all member states, and success depends on the activity, participation, and communicate of all ECO member states. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maryam, for a really insightful presentation and emphasizing the need on food and medicine together. Moving to our next speaker, Dr. Movahedi, Dean of Social Sciences, also Associate Professor, Health Services Academy, Islamabad, Pakistan. Dr. Movahedi, he is a distinguished academic and researcher with over 2 decades of experience in public sector, academia, and research. He currently serves as the Dean of Social Science and Associate Professor of Health Economics. He is also the National Coordinator for One Health Project, a flagship initiative in health workforce development. Dr. Ali has secured multiple research grants, developed national level curricula for health economic program, contributed to major policy initiatives, including Pakistan's Sehat Sahulat program. His research spans health economics, social health protection, and public policy with over 22 peer review publications. Recognized among Pakistan's productive scientists, and in Health Services Academy, we also call him the specialist of writing and winning PC1s. So, welcoming Dr. Movahedi. Over to you, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning and assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. So, I'm highly grateful for the organizers ECOSF for giving me opportunity to deliver a lecture on a very important topic, enhancing access to health finance, regional challenges and opportunities. So, ladies and gentlemen, normally healthcare France is considered as a very derived subject. But I will try my best to not bore you. So hopefully you will enjoy this presentations. So my questions, first question, what is healthcare France? The people, academic definition is a different, but the practical definition is a totally different. Normally we consider that resource mobilizations. When we read the books of economics and health economics, the definition of healthcare finances, you will find resource mobilization, and the second word is allocation of resources in health sectors. So ladies and gentlemen, allocation of resources in the health sector is not enough. It's an efficient allocation of, now the new definition is, as per academics, the efficient allocation of resources in health sector is called financing. But the actual definitions is the mechanism, policies and structure used to fund the healthcare services. So it ensures that the individual have access to healthcare without financial hardships. This is the definition. And now, this healthcare financing is based on three pillars. Number one is the revenue generations, or commonly called as collections, and the second is the pooling, and third is purchasing. So we will discuss the three pillars in detail later on. Next slide. Why it is important? HCF is important. So ensure the universal health coverage without any financial hardships. It's very essential to gain the knowledge of healthcare financing. Reduce out-of-pocket expenses preventing financial hardship, and the support economic growth. Ultimately, to enhance the economic growth, we would like to utilize the proper resources in health sectors. So, healthcare financing varies globally because every country has its own scenario, different situations. So, some countries allocate high budgets for health, some countries have some restrictions. So, but WHO recommended 5% of GDP at minimum levels. So, global average public health expenditures is 6.5% of GDP, while the ECO country average health expenditure is 1.5 to 3% GDP, below WHO standards. The financing. So, without this finance, we can't run all other pillars. So, that is the reason that this is a very important subject topic in a public health as well as in health. Especially after COVID-19, it's considered a very important subject because in COVID, the WHO, World Bank, UNICEF, UNDP, and other all world organizations need health economists, but they were unable to find the health economists. They have to face a serious problem in this area. However, the financing is a very important pillar in building blocks. So, ladies and gentlemen, the second, this is a health financing analytical framework which is recognized by the WHO, but I don't go to the details in each and every pillars and topics, but we will discuss on the first column, revenue raising, pooling and purchasing. Now, how we can collect the revenue, or how we can raise the revenue? So there are major two things. Two pillars. One is the public funding, and second is the private. So publicly, government revenue, direct taxes, income tax, payroll, and other taxes, indirect taxes, non-taxes, treasury bills, receipts, and fees. There are external funding, grants and loans, bilaterals and multilaterals, bilaterals, multilaterals, and the second pillar is very important, the private, out-of-pocket payments, voluntary prepayments, private insurance, and individuals' medical savings. The last one is also very important, charity and philanthropy. In our Islamic countries, some people say that it is 7% of total, 6 to 7% of total wealth is come from the philanthropist, and especially in Pakistan is very high. So lesson learned: the more public money for health, we become healthless. Second is the pooling. Pooling, the first cross subsidy from the low risk to high risk subsidy, health risk. So we should, normally in our developing countries, we have offered a one-line budget and simply say that the head-wise budget. We can't move of money from one head to another. For example, if we have money for the purchase of furniture and we have used all the money in the health hospital, in the health sector for the diabetes and other diseases, but we are unable to use the money which we have for purchase of furniture and other things. So this is so-called the one-line. But the pooling is say that we should pool all the money in one balls. So the pooling, the first is cross subsidy from the low risk to the high risk. For example, from chronic diseases to the acute diseases. But this is unfortunately in developing countries, especially in Pakistan, we received the budget from Ministry of Finance. We are unable to utilize these funds for. It is an essential the cross subsidy from low risk to high risk, and second, the cross subsidy from rich to the poor, equity subsidy. This is very important. If the rich people, affluent people can afford and can pay some money, and from this money can be utilized for the poor. And third was the cross subsidy from the productive to the non-productive part of life cycles. So there, in our life cycle, there are two parts and non-productive parts from 1 year to 18 years. One considers 1 year to 18 years old, and then after 60 years. So it should be free for the non-productive part. We should shift the money. We should receive the money from the productive personals and use this money to the non-productive personals. So this is very important. So three things to think about: size, large or small, risk, similar or diverse, participation, compensability. The lesson learned: limit fragmentation. The most important, we should limit all the fragmentations in the budgets. Ladies and gentlemen, all these are slides very important. 3 slides: collection, pooling and purchasing. Next slide is present. We can speak for each slide for half an hour, but due to time constraint, we move forward. So this is the pool. It should be a non-fragmented, limit non-fragmented. Purchasing is also very important. Normally we do this in a developing country, ECO member country, we do a passive purchasing. That is recommended that we should do the strategic purchasing. What is a strategic purchasing? There are a lot of many examples. Just for example, I give a simple example. If we want to purchase 4 tablets for 1,000 population and want to give 1 tablet for each person else, we have a limited budgets, 1,000 US dollar, and you can send 1,000 rupees. So in a table 4, for table A, B, C, and table A is $4, 4 rupees, and table B $3, $2, and $1. Normally we go to the lowest side, cheapest side, as the problems and the government in Pakistan. If we give the purchase 1,000 rupees, 1,000 tables, we give to the whole population, and the whole population will die. This is a very poor decision. This is not a wise decision. So it is more better that if we purchase a good medicine, better medicine, and give the 250 people, and 250 people will alive, and 750 people will die. So this is more better than this. So just give a hypothetical example. So don't go to the cheapest side in health sector. You consider the effectiveness and efficacy. So this is very important. There are a lot of many other examples, but as we have mentioned, due to time constraint, we have to move forward. So healthcare financing, insurance coverage in ECO member country. Looks, ladies and gentlemen, this table, this is very important. Our ECO member countries. Look, there's total health expenditure as a percentage of GDP, 10.5%. Afghanistan is leading, and Turkmenistan is 2.6% as a percentage of GDP in 2022. And next one, public health expenditure as a percentage of total health expenditures, 78.5%. Turkey is a leading, and while Azerbaijan is at the bottom, 13.8%. And similarly, the out-of-pocket expenditure, this is very important. Look at Turkey, there's only 17.4% people they utilize as out-of-pocket with expenditure, and while Azerbaijan 76.5%. What about health insurance coverage? Look at Turkey is again, Iran and Turkey is in top, and also Azerbaijan and Iran and Azerbaijan, Turkey is heading in health insurance coverage. So, the sources. Global health financing overview, health financing model worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 5 models currently used in the world. First one is a beverage model, tax-funded single payer. This is used in UK, Sweden, Spain. Government-funded healthcare through the taxation and universal coverage. Second is Bismarck model. It's also used in Germany in finance, normally says social health insurance (SHI). It's a contributed, and this employer are contributed, and government is also contributing. The Bismarck models is a contributory models, commonly known as contributory models. National health insurance is also used in Canada, Taiwan, South Korea. Government managed insurance, private providers, and cost sector. This is also very important. Private and market-based model. This is used in USA and Singapore. Normally, mostly the private health insurance companies and high out-of-pocket payments. Out-of-pocket models: Afghanistan, Nigeria, India. No structural insurance, direct payments burdens individuals. So the best performing models, the Bismarck and national insurance hybrid models, Germany, Canada, and Taiwan. The weakest model is out-of-pockets. Everybody knows out-of-pockets. We can't be the out-of-pockets. Afghanistan, part of the sub-Saharan countries. The comparison, currently, comparison of health insurance model in ECO countries, and Azerbaijan no universal health coverage, and Afghanistan and Azerbaijan social health insurance pilot, government moving towards the mandatory health coverage, low public spending. Iran is very good models and multi-payer public insurance, and almost health insurance, as mentioned in the previous slide, health insurance coverage is about 90 to 95%. So, and then Kyrgyzstan state limited benefits, MIF, universal access essential, who still significant limited funds, and Turkey, general health insurance, universal coverage governments, large fund requirements, and subsidy. Turkey is also a very good health insurance model and have a good health insurance coverage. Turkmenistan state-funded healthcare, and Uzbekistan no universal health insurance. Maybe in the second slide, comparative analysis for the health insurance model, ECO country insurance model performance. What are these models we have discussed in previous, and what are the performance? And Turkey is on top, universal single payers, and 99% coverage, low 15% only. So efficient administration, equitable access, and high weakness is the high fiscal burden, 4.5% GDP on health, and this is the past model and practices in the world. Iran, universals, multi-payers, 4+ insurance, 90% coverage, broad coverage, rural inclusion efforts, fragmented systems. Already you mentioned pooling is there in Iran. Fragmented system and rural urban disparity is a very good model. Pakistan's state-backed social insurance, 70% cover the formal sector, stable funding, and exclude informal workers, limited benefits, moderate. And last one, the Afghanistan, anti-donor emergency, less than 10% coverage. There are huge out-of-pocket expenses in the Afghanistan. So, which health insurance model should ECO country adopt for the universal health coverage? The best option is the hybrid models. So, hybrid model means you should use the Bismarck and social insurance model, national health insurance model, and combine employees' contributions with the government subsidy for the valuable populations. The population, the people of the country should contribute some money and insurance. Encourages private sector involvement while maintaining strong government regulations and reduce out-of-pocket costs and ensure sustainability. So, what are the challenges? What are the challenges in health financing in ECO country? Big issues identified. First, the low public health spending, 1.5% and 3%, 3% of total GDP. So, the cost underfunded hospital, limited services. This is unfortunate. We all ECO member country except Turkey and Iran, we are very low as a percentage of GDP. Fragmented insurance system must be the challenge. Insufficient risk pooling, high administrative costs, limited rural access. As we already know, people in Pakistan, we have a very good started the SSP Safe Rural program, but this coverage, the coverage of Safe Rural program is very limited in rural areas. So, political and regulatory barriers, slow implementation of health reforms, and the next recommended, we have only two slides only. Recommended strategy for ECO countries. Countries with some insurance, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Iran, Pakistan, Azerbaijan. Expand social insurance for covering formal workers and self-employed. To improve the government subsidy for the low-income countries and regulate the private insurance. And the countries with no structured insurance, they should start immediately the mandatory health insurance scheme and establish the public health insurance fund for the gradually expand coverage and strengthen primary health care to reduce the hospital the cost. Ladies and gentlemen, opportunity and policy recommendations, the best practice, what ECO countries can do. So, immediately, I think that all ECO member countries should think about the budgetary allocation and raise government health spending to at least 5% of GDP, WHO standard, and reduce reliance on OOP payments. And second, implement universal health coverage. Follow the Turkey models, Turkey general health insurance model with the government subsidy, and introduce mandatory health insurance (MSHA) for workers for Kazakhstan's model. Legit Kazakhstan's in this model registered all the population of the country of Kazakhstan under the MSHA. Expand digital health and financing system. Use a mobile health wallet like Pakistan and SAS program to transfer the health subsidy and develop AI-driven insurance database for this. The last one is the strengthening regional collaborations. So I suggest, and on this platform, that create an ECO health investment fund for the financing health cost treatment and harmonized insurance framework across the ECO country. Project impacted reduce expense to below the 10% can prevent the millions from the financial hardship. This is my last slide, ladies and gentlemen. This is very important. Just 1 minute, Bismarck and NIH hybrid model is the best approach for ECO country. So, and the country must gradually expand insurance schemes starting with the formal workers and moving to the universal coverage. The government and employer contributions should fund primary health care, reducing OOP's expenses. Strategic investment in digital health and regional policy alignment will enhance efficiency. So the telemedicine is essential in the future. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important earmarking. In commerce we call earmarking. The soft and hard marking, tobacco, alcohol, soft marking is a traditional marking which apply traditional taxes on these things which are very delicious for us but are very unhealthy and unhealthy for our health. Looking very delicious. The hard markings are through regulations. We should apply a regulation for the taxes on the tobacco, alcohol, surgery, beverage, toffees, biscuits like that. So, second, the co-payment concept. And unfortunately, we started a sensory program. We are unable to introduce a co-payment concept. This is universal for all the people, for the poor and rich and affluent people. Normally, our sensory program card is used to affluent people, but the people who are living in the rural areas are unable to utilize this cards. So it should be a co-payment concept. The people who are affluent and rich people can pay we should get the money from these people. And the last one is the WTP, willingness to quit. All ECO member countries and including Pakistan, we should move a survey. Survey for willingness to people who can pay for your help. If they pay, we should receive the money from these affluent people and utilize for the poor peoples. And by adopting this model, ECO nation can achieve the universal health coverage and while ensuring accessibility and affordability. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being me. And this is a very important topic. Hopefully, you learn a lot about health economics and healthcare financing. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you very much, thanks sir, for a very informative session. For me, it's a bit interesting situation. I'm a moderator and also a speaker. A quick intro about myself. My name is Ahmad. I call myself a student of AMR since last 1.5 decades. I was the lead for think tank advising government of Pakistan on health policies, and I'm honored to be one of the youngest unit heads in UN history for AMR leading East Africa on AMR side. I know the time is really, really short, so we are going to move very, very quickly. Antimicrobial resistance. All of us may have experienced it or may have seen someone experiencing it, that somebody got an infection and the medicines they use to treat that infection are not working. That issue is called antimicrobial resistance. Now, we heard about the word superbug. We also know very well about the pandemic COVID-19. But do we know about the silent pandemic which will not come in future? It's already here and it's already started. Yet it's not as strong in terms of marketing impact, so we often ignore it. But it has already started. AMR is not just a problem of human health. That's something, antimicrobial resistance or AMR or the problem of superbug, this is something which threatens our health security. It can compromise our ability to treat a very simple infection to a complex surgery. Moreover, it can disable our meat industry immediately. And both of them can have a very drastic impact on health security, food security, and most importantly, economic security. I believe as a part of EcoNext, these are the things which we not only take very seriously. One of the aim of this conference is to forge strong bridges in those areas. Previously, we used to know, as per one of the World Bank's report, that AMR by 2050 is going to cause a lot of problems. Unfortunately, that's not true. The recent data shows a very different and a dangerous picture. Not by 2050, by 2030, $1 trillion from global GDP will be short. Not by 2050, by 2030, 5 years from now. At this moment, the direct AMR cost is already $64 billion, and it's getting more and more worse. Why it's happening? Well, producing AMR R&D time takes 10 to 20 years. After 1970, we do not have much development in this area of AMR new drug discovery in the way we used to have the development before. And pharmaceutical industry is not very interested because cancer and non-communicable diseases research and sale earns more money. This is something which we got a graph from the WHO side. With respect to AMR, there was a With respect to AMR, there was a one breakthrough achievement by the UN member state. In 2024, UN resolution has been passed that has made AMR as a political health priority for each member state, which means all the UN member states, particularly the eco-region countries, we have to focus on this as our one of the priorities. Why? For health security, food security, and economic security. If you can just remember this slide from this lecture, it's worth it. In order to solve the problem of AMR, what we need to do, we need to learn what AMR, we need to teach what AMR to people, to health professionals, to policymakers. I will share some resources Organizers will distribute. Hopefully, we can expand learning within ourselves and to academia and to the other circles. Then there's a very strong case for diagnostic infrastructure, where my previous speakers have mentioned Iran's very good achievement in terms of biotechnology and diagnostic devices. Pakistan's and other regions' contributions in terms of pharmaceutical sector, and our indigenous industry in terms of producing infection prevention and control supplies. So if we want to solve the problem of AMR, first we need to train the human resource. There are free resources available, and if the leadership commitment is there, we can train thousands of people starting from tomorrow without any significant cost. And in terms of supplies, that cover almost 70% of the cost. Most of these countries, if work together, they can manage this gap. We can look at these regions, the eco-region. Globally, as per WHO GLASS criteria, it's one form of reporting that how many countries report the number of antibiotics they consume and how much antimicrobial resistance data they report. So here what we can see that the eco-region needs to rise to the challenge, and we need to do more than what we are doing. These are some of the microbes which we need to report. It's just a technical thing. Coming back, these are some of the resources which WHO has published. We just need to learn, spread these resources so we can train more and more people without any significant cost. In terms of academia, there's already a research priority agenda which academia and governments can take an initiative to spread the right directions to do a research in terms of controlling the problem of AMR. This is the way forward, just these resources, and the time is short. So in short, WHO has published a 44 priority list. Something which I want all of you to focus is just to come at these. This is what ECONEX is supposed to do. We are supposed to strengthen cooperation, promote policy dialogue, address barriers, and expand partnership. How to do that? Governments to governments cooperation. What's the agenda for our cooperation? To contain and reduce AMR together. How to do that? Academia can start working together based on the WHO published 40 priority research agenda. Startups from universities can do very well, as my previous speakers before me have mentioned, in terms of technology transfer, in terms of indigenous and regional capacity building. So we will not be dependent on West, or we will not be a victim of geoeconomics and geopolitics, which we can see more and more in this world right now. And most of you who would be involved in the COVID vaccine management, I was managing that for government of Pakistan. So there was a problem of geo-vaccine nationalism. If we really want to fight all those curses, that's our way forward. Private sector and Chamber of Commerce, if they start working together of different countries, it's going to bring a bow of technology transfer, indigenous industry, local business, regional cooperation. And I would really looking forward that we take this message from this conference back home, that how we can establish the trade between our ECONEX countries, especially with respect to the healthcare. Thank you very much. I think now I would request Honorable Host, and if there are some more questions from the speakers, audience, feel free. Thank you, sir. Mike, there's a question. Guys, as we are short of time, so I would urge all of you that let's have the question and answer session informal way during the tea. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed Tariq. And our gratitude and appreciation goes to Health Service Academy for co-hosting this session. Brilliant insights, and that's really important. And also the faculty and students for joining us. May I invite Dr. Ghulam Ahmed, Executive Director, to please join us along with President ECOSF, Professor Akbar, to our shields the gesture of appreciation to our esteemed panelists. Dr. Moosavi, renowned biotechnologist, author, health professional. Dr. Maryam, Tajabadi, Ebrahimi from the Takgene, Zist group, Iran.
You should come on this side. It seems that I am you come here. Right. Try to come on. Yes.
Dr. Tariq. Health Service Academy has been an excellent partner, and Dr. Tariq has been co-leading entire efforts. So, great appreciation to you, sir. Last but not least, Dr. Ahmed Hussain Tariq. We have one shield for Dr. Obaidullah DRAP that he left early, but yeah. So, who's fellow?
Sir, Dr. Sigi,
If
can you please come and click on this?
Dr. Obaidullah's associate is here, please join us on the stage.